Hey guys, how you doing?
Very good.
Good. Any questions about this weekend? Perfect. Thank you. No, we're looking forward to this weekend. The staff, the kids, everybody's been working hard. Obviously, the first game is exciting for everybody. I know they're going to go out there and give their best. Looking forward to having a home Sun Bowl crowd. It's always exciting to play in the Sun Bowl. There's always a lot of energy in the Sun Bowl. The fans here are outstanding, and I can't wait to see them going on Saturday night. Any questions?
Talk about New Mexico a little bit.
New Mexico's already had a game under their belt. Very difficult offense to defend. It's a triple option offense. There's some principles of the pistol in there. They actually even have a coach that came from Nevada and well-schooled in that system, which is very effective. Last year, they rushed for 301 yards per game, which is one of the tops in the country. They return a 1,500-yard rusher. They return also a slot/running back that rushed for a lot of yards last year. The quarterback returned as well. He had over 100 yards rushing in the game the other night. I know he was dinged up. I don't know to what status, so we'll keep an eye on that. I do know that the backup quarterback that replaced him at the end of the game is extremely athletic. He's a junior college transfer from NEO, and he moved them down the field there towards the end, and probably gives them a little bit different dimension when he's in there. They got a very experienced offensive line. They got an all-conference candidate at left tackle and center. They're a big physical group that have been playing together for a while. So a very challenging offense for us to stop. We're going to have to be very disciplined on defense. We're going to have to read our keys. When we're in man coverage, we're going to have to keep our eyes on our work, and we're going to have to gang tackle. Defensively, they're kind of like we are. They don't return a lot of starters, but the ones that they do are excellent players. I think their weak side linebacker 41 is an outstanding player. He's all over the field, makes a bunch of tackles for them. They've moved their defensive end from last year inside the nose guard, and he's extremely athletic for that position. It gives them a lot of athleticism up front. They have some junior college transfers with good size up on the D-line. And they've got some outside backers that can really run, in particular number 10 and 18. Secondary, they're kind of like us. They've got some guys that are untested on paper, but very talented. 15 is the guy that returned the fumble for him, 45 yards. He's a good-sized junior college transfer corner. They also have a junior college transfer safety that runs around and hits people. So, again, experience-wise, very similar to us, but a very productive defense. They like the pressure. They fly to the ball, and again, that'll be a challenge. Also, a very enormous challenge for us will be their kicking game. They have an outstanding punter. He netted close to 47 yards the other night in the game. He kicked 4 inside the 20, pinned them deep, 2 to the 1-yard line. That's outstanding at any level. They got a great kicker that's returning. All 3 of his kicks were touchbacks into the end zone. And he did miss 1 field goal, which is kind of uncharacteristic of him. They also have 2 very experienced kick returners that are very explosive. So in the kicking game, we're going to have to be extremely sound because they can make up a difference. They really, against UT San Antonio, won the battle of field position. They had him pinned deep several times. Unfortunately for them, UT San Antonio had the one long drive at a critical moment of the game. But all and throughout, field position-wise, New Mexico won that battle, and we got to try to flip that field as far as special teams.
What will be your place kicker?
Our place kicker will be Jay Maddox. He'll handle the kickoffs. He'll also handle all field goal and extra point duties. Punter, it's either going to be Brandon Moss or Jay Maddox. That'll continue the early part of the week, leaning towards Moss. from the standpoint of being consistent with get off, hang time, and gives you some coverability. And probably, again, not real interested in having a young freshman in his first game doing all three. So that's probably the way we'll line up Saturday night, with Maddox kicking off, kicking field goals and extra points, and Moss punting.
Coach, did New Mexico do anything that you weren't expecting this season opening game or something that give you a different look?
Well, we got to kind of go based off of what we've seen last year. Technically, we're not supposed to have their film because we don't have to trade because we didn't have a game. So basically, we're going off of last year's film, schematically what we think they'll do based on the personnel moves that they made. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of untested things for both sides on Saturday night. They haven't seen us on film as well. We do know they've changed some schematically, and we'll try to adjust to that.
Everything's going to be built around starting, the Sean Kugler era here. Granted, we know the players are excited. Are you excited to get your first game under your belt here?
Yeah, I'm excited for every game, probably since I started coaching. I just enjoy coaching. I don't view one game bigger than the other. I won't view this game any bigger than any game I've ever coached in. And it's a process. It's one game. Regardless of the outcome of this game, there's going to be another game the next week, and we're going to prepare the same way for that game. So from that standpoint, no. But of course, first-time opportunity, haven't been a player here, haven't been a coach here, to go back on the Sun Bowl and represent this university as a head coach. Of course, there's extra energy inside me.
It's always a wait-and-see attitude here with fans. I mean, if you get off to a good start, they tend to come. Anything you could say to people to get them out there this week to not wait and see because you feel like you may have the ball rolling in the right direction already?
Well, I wouldn't put that label on El Paso fans because I think they're great. I think wait and see is pretty much what sports is nowadays. Everybody wants fast results. Everybody wants you to win right now. I do know this. Our guys are going to compete. They're going to compete for 4 quarters. If we ever come across a young athlete that doesn't do that, he won't be on the field for us. We want guys that are going to be out there and represent this university on and off the field. As far as the fans, I do know this. When the fans are rolling here, this is a very difficult place to play. They'll have a new quarterback possibly that's never started a game, and if this place is rocking, that can cause a lot of issues for a quarterback. So without saying anything, because I know I do understand you got to win games to put fans in the stands, and that's my job, to get our team prepared to win games. But I'd love to see a sellout crowd this weekend. I'd love to see them be as rowdy as they possibly can when New Mexico is on offense, and as quiet as they can when we're on offense. And that becomes a distinct advantage for us.
Coach, you talk about preparation, and I feel this huge confidence coming from you. You're happy up to now in preparation and the level of mentality that you need to have these kids in?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with our players' preparation. It started in the off season, all the way back to January. These kids have been working hard. They had an outstanding summer program with Coach Davis. They worked hard at Alpine. I really think probably in the spring we had one practice and probably one practice at Alpine where the level play, the effort wasn't up to par, and they knew it. And we're not going to stand for that here. We're going to make those guys come to work every day with the same mentality, and that's roll up their sleeves and go to work. So I've been pleased with the preparation. We still got some more to do. We got a full week's preparation this week, and this is opening week for us.
Your seniors, the only players who play against New Mexico. Do you consider this a rivalry?
Well, certainly I consider this a rivalry. I think UTEP playing New Mexico and then playing New Mexico State back-to-back is outstanding. I think all 3 schools should play each other every year. I hope as long as I'm the head coach here at UTEP that we play both schools, because I think it's great for the city of El Paso and Albuquerque and Las Cruces. Their fans, they get excited when they play each other, and if the players don't know about the history of this rivalry, they'll certainly know about it by the end of this week.
Coach, I know it's not your job to lift out the schedule, it's more of us to speculate, but looking at this schedule, it's certainly not OU, Ole Miss, and Wisconsin in 3 of the first 4 weeks. It looks to be set up to build some success here to start. Do you feel a little bit of pressure to get some of that going in that direction, I guess?
You're right. I'm not looking forward to any of the games after this week. So it's always important to get off on a good start. That being said, there's teams that get off to an 0-2 or 0-3 start that go to a bowl game or make the playoffs. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about our team on a daily basis. Are they getting better? Are they competing? Are they doing the right things on and off the field? How quickly that translates into wins and how many wins, I can't predict that. Or I'd be working in Vegas. So I don't know, but I do know that they're working hard. They're trying to take care of the details that'll help them win games. Now we got to go see if it translates out on the field Saturday night. I'm confident our players are going to go out and play hard every snap.
First game in a new scheme, you're playing a type of offense you're probably not going to see again this year. Is that sort of unique and challenging, or?
Oh yeah, it's challenging that the scheme that they play. It's challenging for us because we're playing a new scheme, offensively and defensively. These guys have learned a new system. In fact, 2 new systems on defense. So I applaud the players here for the work they put in to do that. It's not an easy thing to do. I've been through coaching changes. My sons that play football, they've been through coaching changes, and I sympathize with the players. When you've been doing something and you finally grasp something, and all of a sudden you have to change it, that's difficult. And I think they did a great job.
Since you can't exchange films, are you just looking at the television film of New Mexico, or how does that work?
Well,
What can you legally do there?
imagine. Just say we'll rely on our experiences and preparation getting ready for this game.
Coach, talk a little bit about Aaron Jones, and did you expect him to be the big find that he is right now?
I'll say this about Aaron Jones and all of our freshmen that we recruited. We're not surprised because he did it on film in high school. That's what we're looking for as players. We're not looking for the guy that Rivals or Scout.com says is a 5-star player and commit them as a sophomore, and they don't do anything their junior or senior year, and everybody's got high expectations. We're looking for football players. Every single player that we signed this year was an extremely productive player on film. They were the guy that made 100 tackles. They were the guy that rushed for 1,500 yards. They were the guy that had 10 sacks. I'll take for an example, Mac Leftwich, the quarterback. He's 5'10", he's 190 pounds. By size alone, he was probably nixed by 110 Division I schools instantly. But he was the Quad A Pennsylvania State Player of the Year and set every record in Western Pennsylvania. There's been some pretty good quarterbacks there. That guy can play football, so I don't care if he's 5'10". So that's going to be how we approach recruiting. That's going to be how we approach our program. I'm not really concerned what other people think about who we're recruiting, what their stars are. I just know that they can play football, and if we get enough of those guys, we can get this thing turned around quickly.
Talk about being a physical offense in an era of spread and physical football.
Well, we're going to try to be a physical offense. That's why we changed our scheme. We recruited a fullback. We'll continue to recruit fullbacks. Tight ends will be a heavy emphasis in our offense. You'll definitely see 1 tight end on the field at all times. Many of the times you'll see 2. Sometimes you'll see 3. And we even have packages where you'll see 4 tight ends on the field at the same time. So we're not going to be shy about it. We're going to try to be physical. We practice that way. We just don't talk about it. I don't think you can just say, hey, we're going to be a physical team. You can't do that. You got to practice physical. So we banged all camp. And I think the kids want to hit. Kids want to be physical. And you just got to push them to understand that. And they get conditioned to hitting. We went through an entire camp and hit every day. And we have very minimal injuries, which says that you can be conditioned to hit. We feel that it'll give us an advantage. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, I think any scheme can beat any scheme. I think it's how you execute it and how the players play. But we feel it gives us our best chance to be successful here.
What's the status of Miller, Spencer, and Jeffrey?
All 3 of those guys have injuries that have been kind of nagging them throughout camp. I anticipate Jeffrey being back full force tomorrow. He had a sprained toe. He should be healthy and ready to go. I think Spencer, practiced some last week and was more encouraged the way he moved around. We'll continue to go through that process this week with him, but there's a chance that we'll have him available for the first game. Probably the furthest away, and I'm not going to count him out for this game just because of the character and work ethic that he has, is Miller. He's had a nagging hamstring, and anybody that's ever had one of those understands that it's something that you just can't rush, because if you rush it, it could very easily be a season-long nagging injury, and we certainly don't want that. If we don't have him for this game, we want to get him healthy for maybe the next game or the following game. So I'd be pleased to have all three of those guys out on the field. If not, we go to the next man up, and that's our mantra here with our players.
Coach, judging on the image that you would see, will you be coming out the miner's shaft with a pick and pie?
We'll be coming out of the mine shaft. We're going to do something a little bit different with the pick. We're going to have a player carry out the pick, and we're going to award that pick to the player who plays the most physical from week to week. And the first player that carries out that pick will have had the most physical camp for us, and that's how we judge the first game. And we love the tradition of the pick, and we want to continue that tradition. I think it energizes the crowd. I know watching the games from afar, I always get excited when the team came out with a pick, but we're going to put the emphasis when they come out on the players, and we want to have something that motivates them to want to carry that pick. And it'll be a very important thing. We're going to put a lot of emphasis on that you represent the team, the school, and the physicality of our program when you carry that pick out.
Your thought process on switching sidelines to the press box, sir?
My thought process is, as a player, being a fat lineman, standing in the sun for about 2 hours in your home dark uniform wasn't real fun. And then as a coach, looking across and seeing teams in their white uniforms standing in the shade while you're standing there baking in the sun, I always kind of said, I wonder why we can't be over there. So there's a lot of thought into it. Main thing is that, giving us an advantage. We would never do anything here unless it gave us advantage on the field. We're not switching just to make a switch. We feel it gives us an advantage. Also having the student section behind the visiting team, I think that gives you a little bit of advantage. The band behind the visiting team, being annoying to them rather than us, that's an advantage. So kind of been there, done that, you know what I mean? I've seen that. So we view it as an advantage. Whether it translates on the field, well, it remains to be seen, but I'm excited about moving to the home side.
Coach, the league was 6-7 last weekend. I know Bowling Green's a good team, especially at home. Were you surprised at how easily they handled Tulsa, given the fact that Tulsa just picked to win the West and then win the whole thing?
Anybody can beat anybody. You saw all the FCS teams that upset even some top 20 teams, and that's why you got to be prepared week in, week out. I think the level of the playing field in college football is really getting even in a lot of instances, and teams prepare. I think the schemes have balanced some things out, but I wasn't surprised because Bowling Green's a very senior-laden team. As I was watching that game and they were talking about their team, when you get a group of seniors that play together for a few years, and it was really neat because they flashed back to just a few years ago. They played Tulsa in a bowl game, and Tulsa beat them, I think it was 63-7. And kids remember that stuff. So if you were on that team and you were a freshman or sophomore and you got your tail whipped, a couple years later when they come to your place and you're a senior and your body's changed and you matured, they probably had a long time waiting for that one. And but the experience on that team, it didn't surprise me. When you got that much experience, they're a good team.
Has Showers done anything since the first time you suited up that surprised you, good or bad?
Since he suited up, I've just been impressed. Nothing bad. I think the kid's got outstanding character. I really felt that he may come in and camp and try to press, to impress his teammates, to impress the coaches, and he's just a natural. He's an outstanding kid, outstanding character, great family, and he's a worker. He's extremely humble, which coming from a big school like Texas A&M and transferring, you probably would expect differently. I mean, this kid is awesome. The players have kind of taken him in as a teammate. He's been a great teammate to them. I really expect big things from him, but really, I just want him to be himself. I'm not going to put high expectations on Jamil Showers. I bet you Jamil Showers would tell you he puts the highest expectations on himself. But I'm happy to have him on our team. More than he's just a talented quarterback, I'm happy to have him because he's just an outstanding person. Anybody else? We've got team captains for this season is voted on by the players. Marcus Bagley, who's a senior defensive lineman. Jamard Reed, who is a senior defensive lineman. Kevin Perry, who is a senior tight end. Jarrell Watkins, who is a junior offensive lineman. And Nathan Jeffrey, who is a junior running back. Normally we would have 4, but we had a tie. And on something as important as a captain, I'm not going to flip a coin or make a decision. So the team made that decision. They voted on their captains, and very excited about that group. And probably if I had a vote, every single one of those guys would be on my ballot. So I'm excited about those guys representing UTEP this year. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day.